how do you deal with haters and people telling you you're never gonna make it and that you need to give up and that it's silly for you to think that you can do this? I get this question a lot because people know my lore. I'm not gonna read this question verbatim. You could pause it if you want to read the whole thing. But here's the thing. Um, Number one, I didn't give up because I loved it so much. And I pose this question to you. Do you love this so much? Or do you hold within you a secret hope that if you get good enough, other people will love you and that you will be found worthy? Those are two very different paths that people tend to conflate frequently, and they're very different energy sources. And one won't last you as much as the other one will. So when I first began, I just loved this so much. I knew I wasn't good. That's not me being self-deprecating. I actually wasn't. I ran out of breath a lot. I struggled to sing like anything. It was a struggle. I talk about this in depth in my How I Learned to Sing series, so I'll spare you. But I knew I wasn't good. But when I turned 16, my parents got me a car. And because I had half days in school at that point, I was already accepted into college. I was done with my coursework early. I was taking college classes. Nerd flex, I know. But because I got out early, I would go straight home before my parents got off work, before my brothers got home, and I would just sing. There was no audience. There was no social media. I just did it for me. And that kind of love for it carried me through, and I think you guys can probably still feel it now. I just needed it. It felt like I could fly with a broken wing, actually, because it was, again, it wasn't great, but I just loved it that much. And I find that what I've observed professionally coaching for 25 years, a lot of you say that you love music and that you love this, but often what you will really verbalize to me is a deep desire to be loved by everyone else. And the dream gets hijacked and the joy gets hijacked. And the fuel supply becomes unsupportive. You've got to take your dream back. I need you to get selfish. I need you to remember why you're doing this. Let go of the fantasy that you can achieve a place where you're talented enough, good looking enough, clever enough, rich enough where everybody will love you. That's not the way that works. It's an inside job. You just need to heal. But fall back in love with doing it for you selfishly. It's got to be for you. If it's in hopes that other people will acknowledge your greatness, you've already lost. You've already forfeited agency over to the masses. That's not safe. They're not trustworthy. You got to do it for you. That's number one. Number two, celebrate every victory. Since you asked me how I dealt with it, I was never delusional. When I was horrible, I knew I was horrible. I knew it. But I just really believed that I could learn. I just really believed that I could figure it out. So, example, back in the day when I was young. But my parents hate when I talk about this because we're so good now and they're so supportive and loving. But back in the day when I was like 17, when I first started college, there was a lot of I went to a university that had a famous pre-med program. It was one of the top ones in this country, if not the top at the time. And so there were people in my life, parents, cousins, teachers who were like, oh, you could be a doctor and this is what you choose to do, make it make sense, And so my parents had a talk with me that was basically like, please give up. And I remember it was at nighttime because I was in bed if I was 17, then my younger brother was 15. And he comes into the room and he's like, I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but don't give up. I'm like, he's like, you're getting better. You're not great, but you're getting better. Your breath control is better. I heard you practicing when you were singing in the shower. It was loud as it was. But he was like, you could even do Usher, kind of high notes. Together now we're undone. Was that song even out yet? Going nowhere fast. But the point is this. He was like, you're developing. You can hear the progress. It's not there where it needs to be, but you can hear the progress. And it was moments like that where either someone else would say they could hear a difference or I would just notice a little difference where I was like, okay, it's not total trash. And it's not just about other people giving me praise because like I said, it's an inside job. But I did find that as I realized my growth, it typically did correlate with others realizing it too. Now, the third thing, I want to be so for real. I thought about quitting all the time. I am sensitive, and people are mean, especially when I started dealing with record labels. They were vicious because back in the day, people it got off on how vicious they could be. It wasn't any awareness of like mental health and stuff like there is now. It was like we're gonna be as cruel as possible, and there's no social media for you to rat me out to. So people were mean. When American Idol first started, a big part of the draw of it was how vicious Simon Cowell was. Like, oh, he's so mean. We love it because people need healing. But the point is this: I thought about quitting a lot, a lot. There were times where I remember like I was very religious at the time, and I remember talking to God like, "Why did you give me so much love for something that I suck at? Like I'm so bad at this." And it gets exhausting. That's why I feel like a boomer sometimes when I hear Gen Z talk about their fear of being perceived. I'm like, you would never have survived my life. I was laughed at, wept over. Like, you would have just the prospect of someone thinking an unpalatable thought about you is enough to stop you from leaving the house, you would not have made it through through my trajectory. But I would go back to points 1 and 2, my love of this and how much it was for me, and I would remind myself of all those victories. And yeah, so that's, I hope that helps. I don't know if there's only so much I can do from one video on social media, but I hope that gives you a little clarity into how it worked for me, and whatever you can extract from that, extrapolate from that, that can help you. I hope it's of some benefit. And if you want more interaction with me, whoever's watching right now, check me out on Patreon. You can join, it's for free. You can join for free. Of course, the fanciest stuff is like $5. But yeah, let me go because I'm just rambling now. So bye, y'all.